The slippery road sign in the UK definitely shows a car slipping around on the road, but it also seems to show these skid marks where it looks like the wheels cross over in a way that just seems completely impossible. One of you emailed me about this and asked me to look into why the sign looks this way and whether it's actually possible for a car to produce skid marks like that. But the only way to find that out would be to work with a stunt driver or something. Excuse me, are you a stunt driver by any chance?
I am, Chris. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Hello, what are the chances? That's amazing. So we are at Thruxton Circuit. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Paul Swift. I guess 30 years of stunt driving. I've won several British championships at a sport called auto testing. Got a few Guinness World Records.
Had you encountered this before, the mystery of the slippery road sign?
Yeah, I'd often passed it and thought, that looks like fun. What they're trying to portray is there's a potential accident, slippery surface, and this is what the consequences could be.
I mean, you look at it, and I think what I always interpreted it to be showing is like the back wheels skidding around and got tyre marks going to the back wheels. And if you see it that way, then it doesn't make any sense how the tyre marks are crossing over like that. But you see something else, right?
Yeah, well, through the sport that I've been doing, one of the manoeuvres that you would need to do to get yourself around the course as quickly as possible would be the J-turn. So you get up to speed backwards, spin through 180 degrees, and then it's a bit like the bank job. You know, you've got the swag in the back, the rozzers are on the way, so you've got to put the escape manoeuvre in, and obviously we're going to attempt to recreate that.
But before we could recreate the sign, I wanted to try and find out where this design came from and, if possible, why it looks this way. If you know anything about British road signs, your mind will have gone straight to Margaret Calvert and Jock Kinnear. These were the two designers in the 1960s who designed many of the road signs we see on British roads today. And that does include the slippery road sign. But the history of the design goes back a bit further than that, because a lot of their work was based on the 1949 Protocol on Road Signs and Signals, which was a partially successful attempt to get different countries to use the same road signs. And that protocol is the earliest example I could find of the slippery road sign. I imagine it probably existed in some other country before this and was just incorporated into the agreement, but this is the earliest example I could find. Margaret Calvert and Jock Kinnear took that design and simplified it, but the original design is still used today in New Zealand, and I found a report from their transport agency which found that even though their design is a little bit different from ours, people over there find it confusing too. The report mentioned that a senior engineer at the transport agency named Richard Bean had indicated that these tyre marks are possible for a car to produce, but it didn't say how. So I tracked down Mr. Bean and asked him for his driving advice, and he told me that that pattern could be produced if a car was so out of control that it actually spun round. If the car rotated 180 degrees, the wheels would switch positions and produce a tyre mark similar to what's seen on the sign. But in that case, you would think that there would still be 4 sets of tyre marks, not the 2 shown on the sign. So was that just a nice bit of graphical simplification, or is there a way to actually produce this result in real life? That's what me and Paul were about to find out. We've spent today basically trying to recreate this, and the goal was really to get a snapshot in real life that looks as similar to that as we can. So we had this big open space here at Thruxton.
You might want to
This is a bit crazy, isn't it? It's like a roller coaster. That was pretty cool.
Did we leave any marks on the ground?
Well, I don't know. I think I can see something. Should we go around and have a look? Let's have a little investigate.
So unfortunately, when we set off to do our J-turn, our first one, when we looked behind, there was absolutely no skid marks whatsoever. We could drop the tyre pressures a little bit more, so we've got more rubber.
Would that help?
Making contact. Well,
defer to you.
Just thickening the paintbrush.
Okay.
Let's have a little look.
Let's have a look.
It's not leaving much of a mark, is it?
What was the problem here? We had a few goes.
When you called me about this, I thought this would be the ideal venue, because I thought We could bag this in 10 minutes. This surface actually has been down for a long, long time. Inherently, I don't think there's any oil left within it. It's obviously had a lot of washes with the rain. In essence, we've had to go hunting for a better piece of tarmac. Where would the freshest piece of tarmac be? Because that will give us the best canvas to draw our marks. If the brush is no good, change the canvas.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it. Let's see. It's done something. Oh, that's a crossover there. But I'm happy that we've got, you know, something here that shows.
Proves the point.
It proves the point. So this is what you see on the sign, and after a few attempts, this is what we were able to produce in real life. Those tire marks are coming from the front wheels, and I was surprised to find that we did only get 2 tire marks, so that part of the sign was accurate too. And that's because when we do a J-turn, the car's weight is shifted onto the front wheels, and you can see here that there's a load of smoke coming off the front wheels, while one of the back wheels is actually lifted off the ground. So that's why you get 2 tire marks with a crossing over pattern, and that is why the slippery road sign is actually possible. Well, I'm glad I had an expert to get through it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Do you want to lift home?
Yeah, maybe less J-turns and stuff though. Thanks so much to Paul for doing the driving on this. Thanks to Thruxton Circuit for letting us do it. He's having fun. And thanks to Ian Jones for sending in the idea for this one. This is a really fun thing to investigate. A lot more fun than my usual ones anyway.